Good morning, and welcome to our 6 a.m. Pacific time daily devotional, or whatever time it is that you watch it, daily devotional. It is the 20th of February, and I thank you for joining. We are broadcasting the devotional on the spiritual leader of Centers for Spiritual Living's Facebook page, as well as on Centers for Spiritual Living's Facebook page, and also the World Ministry of Prayer Facebook page. And perhaps you have friends who don't use Facebook and would like to join us on the daily devotionals, so we have an option for them. We are also broadcasting on the Centers for Spiritual Living YouTube channel. And to make it easier for you to share that with friends, I've included the YouTube channel in the description of today's broadcast. So right above the broadcast, you'll see there is a link to the Centers for Spiritual Living's YouTube channel, so that if you have a friend or family member who would like to join us but isn't a Facebook user, they can do that on YouTube as well. I love to know where you are tuning in from, and I thank you for that. And I love you for the messages of support and the demonstrations that you are having as a result of doing this practice together with friends all over the country, all over the world, really. So this morning is titled, I Recognize the Indwelling Spirit, and it begins with Psalm 46, a quote from Psalm 46, "Be still and know that I am the divine." And that is a very famous psalm. It's famous for beginning with the words, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. So we will not fear, even if the earth gets turned upside down and the mountain is carried off into the middle of the sea, the waters are roaring and troubled, and mountains are shaking. No, we will remain still and know that the divine is our refuge and strength. And there are some other parts in that psalm that are a little more problematic, culturally different from today's cultures, and the time is different. But so we pick certain inspirational phrases from the psalm, like this one: the divine is our refuge and strength, a very present help in times of need. That's a worthy idea to meditate on, to think about. And then Dr. Holmes, in 365, Science of Mind, the book that we are using, this is his meditation on the idea. And I encourage you to do the same thing. Get a journal and write at the top of it, "Be still and know I am the divine." And then explain that to yourself in a free-form writing. Don't worry about grammar or spelling. Just write, what does that mean to you? Certainly seems to be what Dr. Holmes did. The belief in the invisible, that's the indwelling spirit, is the very essence of faith. Prayer, or spiritual communion, demands a complete surrender to the invisible. Be still and know. It knows that because the creative power of the divine is at hand, all things are possible. And whatever our idea of God may be, the perception of reality is always an inner perception. I take that to be an invitation for you and I to get clear, every day a little more clear, on our concept, our idea of the divine. And again, a beautiful practice is to get a journal. Right at the top, the divine, and then explain it to myself. Not worrying about grammar, not worrying about spelling or what handwriting looks like. Just explain it to myself, and do that frequently to help get clear, because it's an inner job, he's saying. Jesus taught that the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of the divine, the place where the divine is within us. So, a powerful prayer is not so much a prayer that is a petition, not a begging prayer. It is more of an inner recognition. It's very powerful. I recognize the indwelling spirit is the nature of powerful prayer. It has less to do with asking for something and more to do with becoming aware of something. And so later on he says, so we are to assume the attitude of being a grateful beneficiary of the divine gift of our life. And this should be done simply and directly. So let's do that simply and directly. I invite you to breathe with me, and perhaps letting your eyes close as we let everything be for the moment. And enter into that inner chamber of our own minds, our heart space, the space of knowing, to recognize the presence, the invisible presence of the creative mind that governs all that is. The love presence that sustains all with its own beingness. That is where my life is rooted. That is the only operating power in my consciousness. And so I'm being still today to know that the divine within presides over my affairs. Today, I directly experience the reality of spirit, allowing it to renew my mind, guide my decisions, and direct my affairs. I know that in the eternal act of creation, everything moves from the invisible to the visible. I rest in peace, assured that my needs are met by this play of life upon itself. And then, as Dr. Holmes suggests, we move into an attitude of being a grateful beneficiary of life, simply and directly, by simply and directly stating, I am grateful for this that is the gift of my life. And I can add, I'm grateful for this awareness, this consciousness of wholeness and oneness with the divine. And everything that I feel and know now for myself, I accept and affirm for everyone. Today in particular, I'm bringing into my awareness those in my close circle of friends. I invite you to do the same. And I'm expanding, opening my heart to bring into my awareness the largest circle of community and even acquaintances. And I'm opening my heart and my awareness to expand, to take into my awareness today the whole of creation and call it what it is: blessed, holy, and beautiful. And now, ready to embrace the day, I release this moment of affirmative prayer to be acted upon by divine law. And so it is. Thank you very much for joining this morning. And if you belong to a tradition that has a Sunday celebration service, may your Sunday be filled with revelation and inspiration and healing. And if you're not part of such a tradition, may your day be likewise filled with inspiration and blessings. And may you find the presence of the divine wherever you go and whatever you do. Thank you in advance for sharing this post, and do remember to, if it's appropriate, to let your friends know that it is also available on the YouTube channel for Centers for Spiritual Living, and the address for that is right in the description of this broadcast. I'm going to take a moment after this broadcast to sit quietly with no agenda, and it's wonderful thinking that some of you are doing that with me. Might be 5 minutes, might be half an hour. You'll know when it's done. My blessings to you.